INMO, a new show here. I'm Lance Taylor from The Next Round. This is Blake Patterson. He is an entrepreneur out of Birmingham. He has created multiple concepts, very successful, and now he takes on INMO. This is something we've been talking about for, it feels like years. I know it's only been months. Very excited about this. Still don't know what direction this is going to go. I'm just going to turn it over to you. Tell us a little bit about what INMO is.
Well, LT, appreciate you having me on today. And yeah, you're right. This is the INMO show. Patent pending. We're the only show out there that can actually do this, that talk about a social media app. And that's really what INMO is. It's a social media platform that's built on Web3 technology. There might be a lot of people that are not familiar with Web3 technology, but what Web3 is, it's really giving power to the people. It's decentralization of the internet. So what we're doing is we are going at social media at a completely different angle. We've got all the bells and whistles that the social media platforms that are out there have, but let's be honest, we can't compete with those guys. But what we see, what I saw years ago that we've evolved this into, is we see a greenfield opportunity. And with that being said, we want to give people the ability to make money in a way they've never made money before. We want the ability for people to be seen in a way they've never been seen before. What we see on these apps today, people get on, they put content on, they consume content, they scroll and scroll and scroll, but there's no monetization to it. Yeah, there's influencers out there, but for the most part, 97, 98, 99% of the market, they're not influencers, they're not making money. So what we did is we went out and we created an idea, and I put a pending patent on there to where when you post content onto INMO, the algorithms are not the one that dictates if you go viral. It's the public. What we're essentially doing is basically bringing sports almost into this social media platform. We're almost kind of taking the stock market. We're taking something like American Idol and we're blending them all together to where when you go on every single day, whether you have 2 million followers, 2,000 followers, 200 followers, you have a fighter's chance. And when you post stuff, you find out right then and there what the voting public thinks of you. And we have seen already, since we've been going off just the last 5 days, it's working and it's growing. And the fact that people are consumed with seeing where they are on this leaderboard that we have created. Because now, when you scroll every single day, you want to see where you actually compare to other people. And we feel like we're just getting started.
So is INMO for everyone? And the reason I ask this is, like, we were talking about Lollapalooza earlier today, and Carly Rae Jepsen is on the card. And I think she was one of these girls that got found on YouTube doing the Call Me Maybe song. And so now she's at Lollapalooza. So is it about cultivating, finding talent, or is it about a video that I watched 20 times the other night of a dude jumping off an apartment building into a pine tree, hits 7 branches, and crushes a chain link fence? Stuff to me like that's entertaining. I don't think you guys necessarily want to promote that, like somebody dying, jumping off a building.
Absolutely not.
But that is original content.
It is.
So, but is it for both extremes?
That's a great question. You know, the fact that we've built this platform, we've got 56 people from around the globe that have done this, that are on this team. And when we built this, we didn't want to say, this is what it's got to be. I don't want to put people into a corner and say, hey, this is what you've got to go on there and do. We want to hear what people like. We want to hear what people don't like. And we've already heard that. So as far as videos go or where this is going, with a collaboration of influencers, or somebody's got to be this or somebody's got to be that, the voting public's going to tell you what they like. This will evolve. This will look differently than what it looks like today on August 3rd compared to what it looks like on December 31st of later this year. There will things that be changed week to week. You know, what you see right now with INMO is the MVP. It is in its earliest stages. I would love to go ahead and tell everybody exactly where we're going with this. And I have a very good idea of where we are going with this. But at the same time, I want to show what we've got now, and we will introduce things as we go along.
Yeah, you know, I was watching when ESPN first came on the air, and this is dating me a little bit, but I remember Chris Berman doing like a college basketball game. and was so excited about, being a big sports guy, being able to have access to that 24/7. I didn't know what direction ESPN was going to go, and it's gone so many different. It went from just live sports in a sports center to documentaries and original programming.
Yep.
And so there's so many different ways this thing can actually go. Like, I think I was watching this Marshall fella. He was doing the dance today. You guys got a really catchy song out there, INMO.
Yeah.
I think his name was Marshall. Is that right?
I'd have to ask our team.
Something like that.
But
Anyway,
I know who you're talking
but
about.
he's a big social media influencer. He had almost 1 million followers, and dude's doing this dance out there to y'all's song.
Yeah, so my wife made me aware of that last night. The song or the dance was actually it was pretty good. Obviously, he's got about 1 million followers. With this first INMO challenge that we've done, and something that you just alluded to, we have an artist here in town. His name is I Hate DT. His guy's actually an accountant for a local company here in town. But, his passion is being a musician. And he created a song called In My Mo, which is kind of one of our two songs that we've got. Another one was created by a kid that just graduated high school. His name's Pixelay, who's been on Ted Lasso. He created a song that's called INMO.
Is that his legal name?
That's not what it says on paper.
Okay.
But that being said, already we don't have a ton of content on there, but we're getting some pretty big people that are getting on the platform. They see that once they post, opposed to just people liking something on a social media platform, I'm getting calls being like, I can't put my phone down because I want to see where I am on the leaderboard, because it's real time. The more that you post, depending on what people think of your content, it's a psyche that you're not used to. Like, for instance, let's say that you're in a gym and you're playing basketball and you're just shooting in there by yourself, or you're on a golf course and you're getting on the first hole. Your psyche is completely different when somebody walks in that gym and says, let's play one-on-one. Your psyche completely changes if somebody walks on the first hole and says, hey, do you mind if I play with you? And that's the same thing that's happening here. The dopamine effect that you get when you get a like is one thing, but it is a completely another thing that goes into a different stratosphere when you're competing against people. And to then also realize that at the end of every one of these INMO challenges, there's a way that you make money. There's a way that you get prizes from it. And this week we've got prizes of an iPhone 14, we've got a Polaroid, we've got an INMO box full of branded items that we have been giving out. So you've got something to work for. You've got something to work towards. And so when it comes to these things that I just alluded to, that's just the cherry on top, because what I'm seeing, whether it be come from athletes or whether it be come from just a 7th grader yesterday being like, man, I can't wait to see what's the next INMO challenge, because I'm not really a dancer, but I like seeing what these guys and these girls are doing. So it's one of those things that it's going to grow each week. At least we hope it does. But for where we're going, we're very excited for what we've seen just in the past, really 5 days.
He is Blake Patterson, creator, founder of INMO. This is the INMO show. We're going to be doing this every Thursday. I guess the best way to find this is...
Yeah, so you can go to the App Store, download INMO, INMO. INMO actually stands for I Need More Original. And that's...
You see it behind us.
Very true to the meaning. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, INMO XYZ. Multitudes of places to find us, but those are probably our 3 biggest.
Okay. Well, and subtly, you might see the bottle of Redmont vodka in front of us here, locally owned and operated. It's gluten-free, 8 times distilled. Charles Barkley, one of the great faces behind this vodka. It's available in 22 states, wherever you're watching us. Ask for it by name if they don't have it. Tell them to get it, but it's a great vodka. And they're going to be sponsoring this show. We're excited about that, and this might lead to one of these INMO challenges.
Yes. So Charles Barkley, Eleanor Estes, both co-owners of Redmont Vodka, they're sponsoring this week, sponsoring next week. Next week's challenge, which I'm just elated about, for the people that we've already told, we're going to be doing a dunk contest, basically because of Charles Barkley. I don't care if you're 7, I don't care if you're 15, 25, 75 years old. I don't care if you're on a 10-foot goal, bring it down to 6 feet, if you're on a trampoline, if you're in a pool, or you're going into a garbage can. People love dunk contests. I want to see what you've got.
So if somebody jumps over a moving car and dunks on a rim that's got flame on it, I mean, that would be.
I don't have a waiver for that.
That would be pretty impressive. Well, I mean, that's the great thing about INMO is you guys don't have to have a waiver, right?
This is true.
Yeah. I mean, people are free to do what they want.
That's true. I would love to see that. I'm not telling anybody to do that, but you're probably going to win the dunk contest if you do something like that.
Again, it's all about I need more original. Get creative out there. I mean, that's a great thing. And I've always said this, and Rockstar Producer, and you'll meet some other people that are going to be involved in the INMO show moving forward. Taylor Korn, who's going to be one of our co-hosts here. But, we've always talked about there's so many great musicians out there and so many untapped potentials. And that's the great thing. There's a downside to social media and there's a positive to social media. Yeah. And this is a great way for people to get discovered. And people are making millions of dollars based on followers, subscribers. And this is your opportunity. If you're, slinging beers at the local bar and your ultimate goal is to, be a big name and be an influencer out there, this is your show.
Yeah, and you just said something that's very interesting. We've set aside this place in our society for talking about influencers. Who says you have to be an influencer to make money? There are people that are working 9 to 5 every single day, 12-hour shifts, whatever it might be, busting it. I mean, we live in a country where a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. This right here,
60% of Americans, by the way.
Yeah, I mean it's a substantial amount. This right here, our dream is to give you the visibility to be successful at something. And that will be something that we show with these INMO challenges as we go on. As of right now, this basically every 4 days. When you look on social media right now, there's a lot of people that post, and there's a lot of people that are trying to find a profession out of it, but they feel like they're behind. So when it comes to these INMO challenges, we reset that scoreboard every single time. So it's an equal playing field for everybody out there, no matter how many people follow you. And I think that's something that's advantageous to anybody, whether you are in Birmingham, Alabama, you're in Miami, you're in Maine, you're in Oklahoma, California, or down in New Mexico. It doesn't matter where you are in the country or even in the world. This is something that everybody has the ability to grow from, and you find out very quickly what the people think. And I think that is something that we haven't had before, obviously, because we've patented this idea. But all that being said, it's going to make people evolve too. And it's going to be fun to watch because, this is also a platform that everybody doesn't get a trophy. There's going to be a first place, a second place, and a third place. And I think that's compelling for whether you are the creator or the consumer.
He is Blake Patterson, creator and founder of INMO. I'm Lance Taylor from The Next Round. We are brought to you by Redmont Vodka, locally owned and operated, fantastic local product, gluten-free, 8 times distilled. Ask for it by name. Okay, quickly, before we get out of here, and again, we're going to be doing this every Thursday. We're going to have new wrinkles, new personalities. We'll have guests. It's going to be a ton of fun. But what can we look for on next week's show? And again, how can people consume this and get involved?
Yeah, so next week's show, we will have the winners from this week's challenge. And then also next week, we will be going over a multitude of things that we're doing for the following week. You can go check us out, download it on the in the App Store, INMO, INMO. It comes right up. But I don't want to give away too much because that's what we want you to come and find out.
The INMO Show. We're going to do this every single week. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, get involved. This thing is going to blow up. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a ton of fun. Cannot wait to see some of the original content coming up. Appreciate everything you've done and built this up to this point. Can't wait to see it explode.
We can't either. And I tell anybody this that asks, when it comes to what we're trying to do, I think we've got a real opportunity. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It comes down to the people. And we want to find out if this is something you like. But, we ask, come try it out. We've seen so far that it's growing, and I can't wait to see where we are in a week from now.
We will see you next week. Again, like, subscribe, tell all your friends. INMO is here.
I've been standing tall just like some tree.